Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Monkwitz. Today I'm going to spend some time talking about what world literature is all about and what you can expect whether you are physically in the building with us or participating virtually from home. I will talk a bit about our Canvas learning environment in a different video, so stay tuned for that. This video will give you some information about what you'll be reading for class. It will also show you a snapshot of what each unit looks like in terms of pacing, the kinds of things I'll ask you to do on a daily basis, what your assessments will look like, and I'll also talk at the very end of the video about what technology I expect you to have to participate properly in this class should we need to go all virtual. The first book we'll take a look at this semester is Behind the Beautiful Forevers by Catherine Boo. This is set in India and takes a look at the complexity of poverty and what it's like to live in a slum in Mumbai. The second book we'll look at is Zenzele, A Letter for My Daughter by J. Nozipo Marer. This is set in Zimbabwe around the time of apartheid and really examines racial inequality and what that can look like for a country moving forward. The next book is Never Fall Down by Patricia McCormick. This is set in the 1970s in Cambodia, and it examines the Cambodian genocide and Pol Pot's reign over the people of Cambodia during this time. The last unit really deals with two books at the same time. Um, the first is Prayers for the Stolen by Jennifer Clement, which is set in Mexico and takes a look at drug cartels and trafficking. Um, and then the last book is Sold by Patricia McCormick. And this book we typically read in audiobook format at the same time that we're reading Prayers for the Stolen. This unit is a really interesting look at trafficking as a whole and how that manifests differently in different places of the world, but yet how it's also very similar and still an ongoing issue. One of the first things you might notice about world literature is the pacing of this class. It's designed as a college prep class, and because of that, we move rather quickly through our material. Typically, it takes us about 2 school weeks to read a book, and then that third week of the unit is designed to house our assessments like mini projects and Socratic seminars and unit tests. Um, because we're in a blended format and we run the risk of having to move virtual at any point, we're going to have to be a little bit more flexible than normal with our timeline and our scheduling. So just kind of be ready to be flexible. During that reading window, you will have weekly Canvas discussions. This is one thing that I feel strongly about keeping, regardless of our format. And these open on Friday mornings, and they are usually due at the beginning of the next week. So Monday by 3 p.m., if Monday is the first day of our school week. And the weekly Canvas discussions are really just like an open forum for you to discuss that week's content and activities, to sandbox your ideas, and to just kind of come together in a virtual way with your classmates and process things that you've learned about that week. Um, During the reading window, typically you'll also be doing a mini project. At least you would have been if we were all physically in the building. I'm not totally sure how I will navigate the mini project at this point because we have some students participating virtually and some students participating physically in the building. In the spring, when we moved all virtual, I kind of took the mini project off my students' plates and I instead infused that material within the lessons that they were working with on a daily basis. So, again, please be flexible with me and just understand that I may need to change my game plan depending on what our scenario looks like. More formal assessments for each unit include the Socratic seminar and the unit test. If you've been in a literature class at Arrowhead thus far, it's likely that you've experienced Socratic seminar before. And kids always come into my classroom kind of feeling anxious about seminar, and that's such a bummer for me because I love seminar. It's one of my favorite parts about teaching an English class at the high school level. If you have no idea what a seminar is, it's basically a formal discussion. Most teachers divide their class into two groups to discuss a novel or a shorter piece of literature or whatever it may be. I typically divide the class into four groups so that the discussion groups are smaller and you have ample opportunity to get your thoughts heard and again really dig through that piece of literature and make sure that you understand it well and talk about something that you're interested in regarding the book. So again, my hope is that by the time you finish world literature, that you will really feel the same way that I do about seminar, that it's not only fun, but it really feeds your understanding of the book. And it's also some great preparation for the unit test. Unit tests will also happen for each book that you read. They're formatted in the exact same way every time. So the first section is matching, and it's the 10 terms that we cover, the 10 lit terms that we cover that unit to their definition. The second section is a short answer section in which I'm asking you to apply those lit terms to the book that you just read. And then the third section is an essay. And for those essays, I usually ask you to kind of take a stance on something and then substantiate your ideas with specific examples that you remember from the book. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is what I expect from you with regard to your own personal technology. Whether you are in the building with us or you are learning from home, I expect that you have three things working and ready to go. The first is a reliable laptop. Even before COVID, everything that I do for this class is online in Canvas. So it's imperative that you have a reliable laptop that you can use to access all the materials for this class, as well as all of the activities and assessments for this class. The next thing that you need to have is a working webcam. A lot of laptops have these built in these days, which is great. But I did have a couple students last spring who did not have a working webcam, and it really inhibited their progress and performance in my class. Um, in the event that we do need to go virtual for COVID related reasons, you really need to have a working webcam and a microphone in order to participate in the Socratic seminars. We do these in Google Meet. And then sometimes I'll use Canvas conferences to deliver like live video conferencing content. But either way, you have to have a working webcam and a working microphone in order to participate in this class properly. So, with that being said, if you don't have these items, obviously you can take steps to procure them for yourself, or you can always check with our library to see if we have anything that you can check out. Last semester, we did have some webcams and microphones for students to come and pick up when they were learning from home. So you need to kind of take care of business for yourself and make sure that you are ready to go in the event that we do need to move to virtual. There are some students who are participating virtually already. So if you're one of those students, you need to make sure that you have everything that you need from the get go. If you have any questions about that or you need help with anything technology related, just let me know. Again, in the next video, I'm going to talk about our Canvas environment and what you can expect and kind of how to navigate and how to communicate with me and all of that nuts and bolts kind of stuff. So stay tuned. I'll see you later.